Yo, yo, Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Carolina's Armchair GM. I am your host, CJ. What's going on with you out there, everybody? All right. I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Missed the live last week because your boy was tired. All right. Missed the live yesterday because, your boy is tired. Let me tell you, life has been life and lately, especially at work. I can't get two things fixed before four things break. So that's the way it's been. But I'm glad to be back here. I mean, it's only been a week, but feel like it's been longer than that. But hey, it is what it is. Sitting out here in my favorite little spot. Got on my Let Dan Cook shirt, courtesy of Nella's Creations right on the other side of the wall there. So, go check out Nella's Creations if you want to get a nice shirt like this or maybe a cup. All right. But yeah, man, it's I just gotta get down to it, man. I'm ready for some football. I'm ready. And I'm still so pissed that we can't go to training camp. I was so looking forward to filling out my little time off slip, giving it to my boss. Like, I need, Monday and Tuesday this week. I need Wednesday and Thursday this week, Thursday and Friday of that week. I can't do all that. We got one game to go to, one thing to go to, and that's Fan Fest. And then, I guess the preseason games or whatnot. But I'm lighting the car in the chat, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. All right, but before we get into it, as always, y'all catch me on all social media at Armchair GMCJ, and I appreciate all the love and support. Okay, let me get to some of the comments because I had to try to keep it together because Nakari made a comment in here, and I promise you, I busted out laughing while the intro was playing. Luckily, my mic was muted, so I'm glad y'all didn't hear me in here. But I did have to get myself together for before the intro went off. But all right, let's get to it here. My boy Douglas, what's going on? I said the hate is real on the Panthers, but that's okay. I'm just ready for some football. Yes, you and me both, Doug. You and me both. He said just landed in Philly, so you'll be the last show. I guess you meant watch. Okay, appreciate you, Doug. Appreciate you, Doug. Thank you for your service, man. Hey, you be good up there. Look, be good, be safe, and holla at your boy. He said, watch until I get back, so let's make it a great one. Yes, sir. Earl, what's going on, man? How you doing? All right. Clark said, I need football, man. Something to look forward to. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And the crazy thing is, had a little bit of football. What was it? The UFL? I promise you, the season came and went, and I couldn't tell you who won. I couldn't tell you who played in the championship game. Nothing. Hey, it is what it is, I guess. Nerve what's going on? I actually got off work right when I got the notification. I'm not usually this fortunate. Well, I'm glad you think it's fortunate you got a notification for my live, man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Glad you're here. I'm not dub, but Earl said, yeah, good this way. Look like we getting the same more rain. Man, let me tell you. And I gotta say, shout out to Mr. Huggy Dory because we had everything going on the fourth. Went to a friend's house, shot off fireworks. Cop stopped by twice trying to shut it down. Came back to the house, thought we was gonna do a little something, something on the fifth. Turned into, a full blown cookout. And so I shot with a little bit of fireworks I had off on the fifth. And my friend brought some, my brother-in-law brought some. Shout out to West and Smoke. Appreciate both of y'all. Um, and yeah. And so that next day, well, actually later that night, or maybe next day, Mr. Hunky Dory sent me a message and was like, your family good out there with all the rain, the storm. And I said, what storm? Let me tell you, I was in my own little world. Didn't even know there was a daggone tropical depression, headed for the coast of North Carolina. And mind you, it said that it was going to be here in Charlotte. So I rushed out there at 7 o'clock, that next morning. I think it was like Sunday morning, I had all my fireworks cleaned up, but I just had them in a pile sitting in the driveway. So I'm bagging all that stuff up, putting down the tents and everything. Man, when I tell you that whole storm got right here to Charlotte and then just turned around and went straight back towards the triangle, Raleigh, Greensboro, Raleigh, Durham, that area up there. And to the point where my son and his girlfriend was here for the weekend, and she caught a train down, and it messed them up so bad that her train got canceled like 3 days in a row. So it's crazy. So if y'all get more rain down there, Mr. Earl, man, let me tell you, I'm gonna be praying for you because I know that's one thing y'all do not need right now. All right. Here we go. This is the one that got me. The card said, "I got a slice of red velvet cake and no more fucks to give. Football can't get here fast enough." Yo, the card, you a fool, man. You a fool. Oh God, he said, "Damn, the card like that." The card said, "I don't care, CJ. You you just might not be good and fix it." Oh, we're talking about work. Oh no, I'm great at fixing stuff. It's just that people keep breaking other stuff. Oh my goodness. Of course, at least Sheena and Vashti live streaming training camp. Yes, I saw that yesterday. On Sheena's page where she said they're bringing back Quick Blitz. So they're going to live stream. Now I don't know if they're going to live stream like the entire practice, or is it going to be portions of it? They'll be able to live stream. But hey, at this point, anything is better than nothing at all. So shout out to Sheena, shout out to Vashti, and yeah, so I'll definitely be tuned in, definitely. He said we got to come up with a new slogan or hashtag. Haha, Dan is cooking. Well, yeah, I mean, but I still say, hey, let him cook. There's still people out here that think, oh, he ain't done this, he ain't done that. Hey, and I say let that man cook because he ain't done. Okay, he is cooking, but he's not done. I don't think I think he's far from done. Okay, and I hope this is a dish that to a certain extent never gets finished. And the only reason I say that like that is because I hope Dan is always trying to get better. I hope he doesn't get comfortable and like, let me go ahead and cut the burner off. Nah, you know what? You got this one right. Slide that over in the back, keep it on warm, and go ahead and start whipping up something else. So that's why I always say let Dan cook. Yeah. Yep. Let me see. So nobody care about G League football. Yeah, I think it did, Nicole. I think it did. Yes, in Rockingham, got you. Yeah, I know y'all got hit hard with the rain down there. Let me see. SC Panthers boy 803, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? Glad to hear you. Excuse me, glad to see you. Glad to have you here. Let me see. So he just got everything in the smoker. He ain't even close to being finished cooking. I like that, Nakar. I like that. I like that. I turned the smoker on over the weekend, man. Some ribs, burgers, hot dogs, chicken, all of it. Came out pretty good too. Yeah. He said Dan Dan put his whole foot in the food. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. So we're gonna get into it just a little bit here. Okay, and before I do that, I want to let me see. All right, I'm going to drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to come up here and join me while I ramble on about my favorite team. And the link is pinned in the chat. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so first of all, thank you to all of the front office members. Okay. And I know that I said that I'm moving everything to Patreon. That hasn't happened just quite yet. Okay. Got some things coming, still working on some things. But thank you for all the front office members here on YouTube. There's also a Patreon if you want to join. But like I said, there's nothing up there right now. Still got some things in the works, but I will be doing that pretty soon. But again, thank you to everybody for being a front office member. I greatly appreciate you. Okay. Also, coming up this season, fantasy football. Okay. I'm going to do I don't know how many leagues. Okay, it depends on the interest and who wants to sign up. I'm down for doing, multiple leagues. We can do some for free. We can do some for money. It ain't got to be no extravagant amount. If everybody's comfortable putting in, you know, 20, 30, $40 or whatever piece, winner take all, we can do it like that. Let me know if y'all are interested in doing fantasy football. I think for I think for starters, I'm going to try 2 leagues, and if I get some more interest, we can make some more, because fantasy football is something. I mean, me personally, I'll run 7, 8, 9 leagues, and not even blink an eye. It's just fun for me. But yeah, so fantasy football. If anybody wants to join, y'all let me know. Okay. All right. So now the title of tonight's show was the Panthers, the disrespect that the Panthers uniforms got. Okay. So we're going to get into that a little later. And also part of the title was, kind of a training camp, taking a look at the offense leading up to training camp. Okay. And one of our main positions on offense, on the offensive line, is our right tackle, Taylor Moton. And recently, okay, if everybody knows, Taylor Moton is coming to the end of his current contract. All right. And if you look it over the cap, you see that, or spot track, wherever you get your numbers from, you'll see that Taylor Moton's salary for this year is like $31 million. Okay. And I think a lot of that came from them, quote unquote, kicking the can down the road with voided years, the contract, pushing money down. And the crazy thing is, I would have thought by now that, with Brant Tillis coming in, Dan Morgan, maybe they would have, reworked his contract a little bit, try to take some of this hit from this $31 million and, make it a little bit less of a hit. But they haven't. Okay. They came into this season, they were like, all right, bet. Taylor Moton, we're going to pay you your whole salary. All right. And you got to remember, Taylor Moton was drafted by the Panthers in the second round, I think in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Has only missed 2 games in his entire career, and they were last year. Okay. So, per the Athletic here, Moton was talking about his contract. He said, looking forward, I do believe I have another contract in me. Right now, he said, but right now my focus is on 2025 and making sure I do whatever I can to have the best season I can for everybody involved. Okay. And for me, that is great to hear. But the only thing I kind of, this is me just kind of being very, very, very nitpicky. I know. But the party says, I do believe I have another contract in me. Okay. Not, without a doubt, I know I got another contract in me. I do believe I got another contract in me. You know what I mean? Not trying to sow any seeds of doubt, but I do think that's something you can't just, look over. All right. And I say that to say, if the Panthers, okay, hypothetically saying Panthers go out this year, just say we win the division, or say somehow we get a wild card, make the playoffs. All right. So either way, we won't be picking, in the top 10 like we've been for God knows how long. All right. So with Moton's contract, and I know he still got this whole season left to go, and we'll talk about this next year, but it's never too early to get in here and talk about this stuff. We can always get in here and speculate and kind of, see what we think is going to happen. All right. Do you, okay, it's Panther Nation. Do you want the Panthers to make it a priority, to sign Taylor Moton, or would you want the Panthers to go out and potentially, I don't know about first, maybe second round. It depends on how the season goes. Go ahead and start draft somebody to start grooming, his replacement. Okay, because now mind you, yeah, Moton's great player. I don't know if he'll get the same contract that he got this past time. I'm not saying he won't. He might. You never know. He might get more. But what do y'all think about Taylor Moton and his future? Okay, do you think the Panthers should go ahead and start, looking to groom his replacement, somebody younger? Because if I'm not mistaken, Taylor Moton does turn 31 this year, or he just turned 31. All right. And the Panthers have been on a bit of a youth movement this season. Okay. They've brought in a lot of free agents, a lot of younger free agents, a lot of free agents going into, coming off of their rookie contracts and going into their first, contract. All right. So let me know what y'all think. Me personally, Taylor Moton goes out there and does what he's been doing his entire career. I say go ahead and pay the man, keep him on the roster. It'd be good to have a veteran presence, but it will also be good, to start planning ahead, planning for the future, and maybe bring in somebody to try to groom them to be his future replacement. Okay. Taylor Moton might get in here this season, have a great season. He might get in the next season, have a good season after that. And the next, and I'm not trying to wish anything on anybody, but in the NFL, you never know. Okay, he might turn around in a couple years, get hurt, or I mean, hell, he might get out here and be like, you know what, nah, I ain't feeling this no more. Like I said, I don't think that'll happen, but I'm like I always say, you never know. Okay. But like I said, if Taylor Moton does come back and I'm sorry, if Taylor Moton does have a good season this year, and I think he's had a damn good season every year he's been a Carolina Panther. I don't think there's been a season where you can be like, Taylor Moton didn't really do too hot that year. I think we can all say Taylor has been, one of the key members on this team, this bad team for the last shit since he's been here, but he has been one of the consistent pieces on this roster. He goes out, does what we have to do. If he wants to keep playing, pay the man. Okay. Pay the man, but also think about the future as well. Okay. Because now you got Icky on the other side. If he go now, they picked up his 5th-year option. Okay, picked up his 5th-year option. But you got to think, Icky goes out, does what he's supposed to do, maybe balls out this year, Icky's going to get paid as well. Okay. Don't know exactly what kind of contract Icky is going to get, but hey, you best believe they picked up his option. He goes out, does what he's supposed to do. Instead of paying that whole 5th-year option, which I think is like 13 something $million, they'll want to work out a deal with him, just like they did JC Horn for a new contract. Okay. Now, speaking of the tackle spot, okay, I did a short reel, whichever you want to call it, earlier in the week about how we're feeling about the depth behind Taylor Moton and Big Icky. Okay. So right now, the backups on the roster at right tackle, you have Josh Nijman, and the backup at left tackle is Brady Christensen. Brady Christensen, who also plays center and guard. All right. Now, Brady Christensen, it was a couple games last year, I think it was 2, that he did fill in and play left tackle for Icky when he was hurt. If I'm not mistaken, did a pretty good job. And I don't think, let me see, got my numbers right. Bryce was only sacked 1 time in both of those games. One of them was versus Tampa Bay, and I can't remember what the other game was. But okay, we all saw Josh Nijman get in. And I know one game that everybody can remember that he played in last year was the Cowboys game. Okay. Him and Icky, got taken to the woodshed. Bryce got sacked about was like 6 times in that game, and it was just a mess. Michael Parsons, and I can't remember who the other edge rusher for Dallas is, had a field day. Had a field day against both of those guys. Okay. So I'll pose this question to you. Are y'all comfortable with Josh Nijman and Brady Christensen as our depth at the tackle position, or do you think the Panthers should go out and try to improve at the depth at this position? Okay, because now if you look at the guard spot, okay, the guard and center spot, I mean, hell, it's pretty much locked up, especially if everybody can stay injury free. Okay, you have Brady Christensen here. Okay, you have Cade Mays and you have Austin Corbett, who can all play guard and center. Okay, then you have the starters, Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt. Okay, Robert Hunt coming off Pro Bowl year, and you can argue Damian Lewis probably should have been in the Pro Bowl himself. Okay, and I'm sorry for the fuzzy picture, but I think I got the autofocus on my camera, and it is tripping right now, so I do apologize for that. Okay. But let me know what y'all think. Is going into training camp, going into preseason, regular season, is the depth at the tackle position, left and right, is that a concern for you going into the regular season? Okay. Because now, mind you, I would say my opinion, I'm not as concerned about Brady Christensen as I am about Josh Nijman. Okay. And not to say that, Josh Nijman is bad, or, I, I, I mean, he played more than one game. Okay. Now, mind you, the Cowboys game, he looked bad. Okay. And I forgot the other game he played in, but yeah, don't get me wrong. I forgot the other game he played in, but everything I think about was him versus the Cowboys. So we'll see. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. Okay. All right. So keeping with the theme of the offensive line. All right. Do the Panthers have a battle for the center spot? Okay. Now, last year, not K Mays, Austin Corbett was a starting center and played up until the Raiders game. Okay. Played up until the Raiders game, got hurt. Brady Christensen stepped in for 2 games. And at that time, Cade Mays was not on the roster. Cade Mays was on the practice squad of the New York Giants. Okay. Cade Mays did not make the initial cut, and the Giants picked him up, signed him to their practice squad. Okay. So I think Cade Mays' first game back, where he started was if I'm not mistaken, it was the Giants game over in Germany. If I'm not mistaken. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. Um, Cade Mays came back in, and according to PFF, I think he had the ninth best rating for center in those last I think it was like 9 games he played out of the season. Well, the last 9 games, he missed 1 game. I do believe that was the Tampa Bay game. Okay. And I bring this up because Austin Corbett has had season-ending injuries 2 years in a row. Okay. Does he come back, or Panther Nation, do you think he comes back and he automatically goes up to number one on the depth chart at center? All right. Now, according to ESPN and Our Lads, where I got this from, that's what they think. They have him currently as the number one center on the roster, followed by Cade Mays. Okay. Now, mind you, they have Brady Christensen as the number two left tackle behind Icky. But the only reason I bring him up is because I've heard a lot of people talking about, putting one of these guys up for for a trade. Say you keep Austin Corbett, keep Brady Christensen, and then you got a young Cade Mays, and you get a team, say that gets an injury or whatever, needs somebody to come in and start, maybe needs a backup, and you kind of put Cade Mays out there as trade bait and see what we can get for him. Now, me personally, um, I would say you keep all three. All right. You keep Brady Christensen as an emergency center, kind of like he was last year. Okay. Um, I say you go ahead and let Cade Mays keep that starting job. All right. Cade Mays did a great job last year. He's probably about, 20 something pounds heavier than Austin Corbett. Not saying Austin Corbett didn't do a good job as well. I remember me and Tony was talking about this one time. We were both kind of skeptical going into last season, but were both pleasantly surprised with how Austin Corbett played, up until he got hurt. Um, but my thing is this going to be a competition, starting in training camp? Or is this going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, this is your job, Austin, and we're just going to go with that. Okay. Now, what I hope they don't do have a situation where they try to trade one of these guys. I hope they keep all three of them because they're all versatile. Cade Mays in a pinch can play all five positions on the offensive line. He plays center, guard, and I think he does have some experience at tackle at some point. I forgot. I think it's in college. It hasn't been in the NFL. I do believe he was in college. I can't remember if it was when he was at Tennessee or Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but let me know what y'all think. Okay, well, first off, let me know. Do y'all think there's going to be a battle for the center spot? Or is it already Austin Corbett, Cade Mays, and then we're just gonna go on the season, go on from there. All right. And if there is a battle for the center spot, who do you think should get it? Who do you think played better last year? All right. You think Cade Mays did a better job, or you think Austin Corbett? I'm not gonna throw Brady Christensen in there because he only played 2 games. All right. And mind you, he did damn good in those 2 games. He did damn good, but he only played 2 games. Mays and Corbett played the majority of the season. All right. So y'all let me know. Let me get to a couple comments here. Let me see. The car is talking about Taylor Moton said play out the contract, sign him for a team discount because he likes it here and they like him, and take an experiment in day 2 or 3. Okay, gotcha. He also says we can go one more year with the Yash, but after that we got to get real. I got you, Nakari. I got you. One more year. The car said we got to get real. Earl said, yeah, he said, do play good at center. Which one you talking about, Earl? Which one you talking about? Because I got three of them up here. Let me see. Fact, keep all three, keep the O line together. Okay, all right. And like I said, and I haven't heard any rumblings of the Panthers wanting to trade any one of them, but I have heard people saying, maybe we can use one of them as a trade candidate. The Panthers want to get another player or maybe some future draft picks, or whatever. Injuries are always a thing in the NFL. If you get a team out there, something happens to them, and hey, you know what? Hey, we're looking. So we'll see. He said, Kate, okay, Kate, I got you. I got you. All right, cool. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. And another spot in training camp that would be very interesting, sorry, to look forward to is the battle at wide receiver. Okay. So the Panthers used the 8th pick on Tedero McMillan. So you got to say you got McMillan, Xavier Leggett, Adam Thielen, um, Jalen Coker. You got Jimmy Horn, who was the 6th round pick. Um, and then the thing is, and you got these two right here. Okay. At some points in last season, the Panthers kept 5 wide receivers, only 5 on the roster. And at some points last year, the Panthers kept 6 wide receivers. Okay. Now, me in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you got David Moore who came over with Dave Canales from Tampa Bay. I like David Moore. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Okay. You also have Hunter Renfro. Okay. Let me see. Vietnam, what's going on? He said, just my opinion, David Moore has to go. All right. Appreciate you, Vietnam. Hey, but but tell me exactly why you think that. Why you feel like David Moore gotta go. Okay. Let me know. All right. Now you got Hunter Renfro, local kid, grew up in Myrtle Beach, went to Clemson, spent the first part of his career, with the Raiders. Okay, but he came down with ulcerative colitis. Okay, it's an autoimmune condition that led him to missing the 2024 NFL season. The illness caused significant weight loss, fatigue, and fevers, impacting his performance and leading to his release from the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, now me personally. I say that this is David Moore's job to lose. Okay. If I had to put them right now as who is number 6 and who is right on the cut, I'd have to put Moore at number 6 and I'd have to put Renfro, at the cut because Renfro one has got to come in here and prove to the organization that he is fully healthy and he is going to be able to last this entire season. Okay. If anybody has an edge, I think David Moore has that edge, right now. Okay. If Hunter Renfro comes in here in training camp and just blows everything out of the water, okay, he's healthy, he's moving, he's cutting good, he's having no further issues with his ulcerative colitis, everything is straight and in his corner. I think it's going to be hard to, not consider him for that last wide receiver spot. And I say last wide receiver spot, you never know. There might be some kind of situation where the Panthers keep both of them. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Vietnam said he was very inconsistent last year, had way more drops than big time vet plays. Okay, I got you. Earl says it's going to be hard to let David go. He played good that back half of the season. Okay. Excuse me. Vietnam said his spot should go to Jimmy Horn Jr. Give the youngins the reps and keep the old timers fresh. Okay. All right. I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, but this is going to be a tough one. I've seen all over Twitter. And it's kind of 50-50. There are people who are like, why in the world is Hunter Renfro here? He doesn't need to be here. We good. There's a lot of people that's like, why would you not sign Hunter Renfro? Okay. They're like, hey, shake Mr. David Moore's hand, give him his last check, and show him the door. Okay. But like I said, I think this is on offense. Okay. Now I know I said battle at center. I'm hoping to see a battle at center, but I don't think it's going to be much of one. Um, the probably the biggest battle that we're going to have on offense, training camp, into the preseason is going to be right here at the wide receiver spot. I mean, I've even heard some people say that, cut Jimmy Horn Jr. and keep both of these guys. And for me, I'm like, nah, I can't agree with that. I can't get down with that one. I cannot, absolutely cannot. Um, you bring Jimmy Horn in here. I think he's a dynamic receiver, and I think he will bring a spark to the Panthers receiving core that would definitely bode well for them and pay dividends. Okay, so in my opinion, it's going to be one of these two guys. Like I said, if for some strange reason, they mess around and keep all seven of them, hey, I mean, somebody else going to get cut in another position, but I highly doubt it. I think six is going to be the absolute most, and it's going to come down to one of these two guys right here. But the thing is, I like both of them. If you take a look at Hunter Renfrow in his time in with the Raiders, he has some great tape on him. Okay. David Moore, and I know Vietnam said he wasn't consistent last year, but I think he did step up and he had some good plays, especially down the stretch. Okay. You know, um, I think if I'm mistaken, both of them can return punts, kicks. So, it's not like either one of them has, that big of an edge on the other right now. Okay. All that could change in a matter of a couple weeks. We'll see once camp gets started. All right. Like I said, you never know. It's still the ever looming threat of an injury to somebody. Even though, like I said, don't want to talk that up, even though I just did, but we'll see. All right. Let me see. SC Panthers boy said we're not gonna keep all three at their ages. Demo, Adam, and Renfro. Somebody getting cut. I feel you on that one. And I heard a lot of people say, why would you bring in Renfro? He's just another Adam Thielen. And my response to that was, well, my response to that is, you know, um, Adam Thielen has been nothing, but good for the Panthers in his 2 years here. Going into the third year of his contract, which may or may not be his final year. But if he's nothing but another Adam Thielen, wouldn't two Adam Thielens be better than one? You know what I mean? If it works out like that, and I'm just saying because that's something I've heard too. We already got an Adam Thielen on here. We don't need another one. Hey, my thing is, if you get Hunter Renfrow in here, and he can do the exact same things that Adam Thielen is doing for us. Hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So we'll see. Okay, and I think Vietnam is saying exactly to that comment. Excuse me. Earl says the only way both stay is we have to keep seven wide receivers. I agree. I completely agree. Completely agree. The only way we keep both of these is if the Panthers keep seven wide receivers. But to counter that, I highly doubt the Panthers will keep seven wide receivers because that means they're going to be taking a spot from somebody else. Okay. And got to the stage here. The prowling veteran. What's going on with you, man?
What's up, CJ? How you doing?
Good, man. I ain't seen you in a minute, dog. What's going on?
Nah, I mean, you go over there. You go there. I'll be over there at the 704. You come on over there. Come on, see us.
Man, hey,
Be
let
over
me
there.
tell you, man. When I say I have been if if I cut on YouTube and people lives are not right there staring me in the face, yeah, I'll be on there for a hot second and I'm gone. I mean, lately, I said in the post yesterday, I was like, man, my free time the past couple weeks has been me in the bed. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Busy,
yeah.
man. I understand it, man. I understand
Hey,
it, man.
busy, busy. Okay, well, hey, now you on here. Give me your thoughts, man, and let me know if you want to go back. I don't know how far you've been watching. If you want to go back and comment on some of the other topics I had, but let me know what you think about the battle at wide receiver here for what's quote unquote gonna be the final
Hey, man.
spot.
I'm going. I mean, there's a chance that we do something that is different than what the Carolina Panthers has done in the last 5 or 6 years. Usually, we go into the people don't pay attention. People keep saying seven, but usually in the last few years, we have gone into the season with six wide receivers on the active
Mm-hmm.
roster. That's that you can go back and look for like didn't matter who the coaching staff was. Has been the number.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe this is the year that it changes. I mean, it could be. I don't. I mean, I don't think people don't realize, man, that people say that they think that oh boy gonna beat Hunter Renfro. I was like, man, this dude gets open in the end zone. I mean, open. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
leaving dudes in the dust. I'm talking about, and like I was like, man, if he can get back to literally the knock was the injuries, man. If he can get back
Yeah.
to full form and he's healthy and stuff like that, the dude moves. I mean, he's smooth, and people. He does look older than Adam Thielen. That's true. He does look older than Adam Thielen, but he's 29 years old, man. So I mean, I don't know, man. We might. I don't know how it's gonna work out, man. We might take 70, and if we take 70, and then I think we have our seven. I think you can
Okay.
really just count them out. I think you really count them out. You basically got the whole roster from last year, and then you add the two rookies, and then you add in a Hunter Renfro. That'd be seven on the dot. And I mean,
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good. I mean, I think that could be a good thing, man. Um, I don't know, man. I actually like this battle coming up, but I think that it's a good problem to have. This is the first time in a long time you can say we can identify at least seven wide receivers that we would love to have, but are we going to keep them all?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah. I,
see.
I honestly I can't remember the last time the depth at this position was
It
like
has been
this.
anything. It
Yeah.
has been anything,
Even
man.
even if you go back to the 2015 team, Kelvin Benjamin gets hurt. We start the season with Ted Ginn, Devin Funches, what was the other guy's name?
Demani Bird
Oh no, not
went
Demir
to
Bird. It's somebody else I'm
Demir
thinking
Bird.
about. Yeah. Was he on that squad?
I think Bird was on the squad. It was a Bird and I can't even really
Hold on.
think of these daggone dudes' names, man. It's hard. It's hard to remember the guys because I mean, at the end of the day, who do we think about that season? Ted Ginn with the stone hands was still catching
I
stuff.
got you. You know what? I almost said the wrong person. Okay, so we had Ted Ginn, Jericho Cotchery. I always called him Bible Boy Cotchery. Jericho Cotchery didn't
Got you.
drop a whole pass until the damn Super Bowl. So Ginn, Cotchery, Devin Funches, Philly Brown, and Brenton Burson. Okay, so that
Yeah,
was our
Burst.
wide receiver group. In 2015. And Cam took us all the way to the Super Bowl. Now, mind you, like I said, at the beginning of the season, you look at that squad and you just like, oh, okay. You thinking about Kelvin Benjamin. We had just drafted Devin Funches and whatnot. You look at this, what we got here now. You got T Mac, you got Leggett, Coker, Thielen, Jimmy Horn, who we got this year. You know what I mean? I think I'm probably way more excited about this year's wide receiver group than the wide receiver group in 2015 that we went to the Super Bowl with. And
Yeah, I mean,
not saying that this group is gonna take us to the Super Bowl, but if they do, damn it,
no.
I'll be happy. Hey,
Listen,
I would be
I'm just
happy.
saying right this. I don't know if people have been watching the Route Guys his stuff on Twix as you like to call it,
Yeah,
and
Twix. Yeah.
yeah, the route guy. I mean, hey, Xavier Leggett look like he is about to emerge this year. And I'm talking about catching the ball with his hands and
Hmm.
everything, man. It's just
Okay.
I I think that if Xavier Leggett takes a step forward, and
Hmm.
then you have T Mac and you have Adam Thielen and you have Hunter Renfro. Jimmy Horn Jr. will be your guy that you just allow to take the top off of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, he'll probably be a returner.
Hmm.
You get some of these guys out of those positions because I think Jimmy Horn is more naturally gifted at those positions. So, um, hey, I think it's gonna be really really deadly crew, man. I just could see it, man. And I know everybody is like, oh, T-Mac doesn't get open. I'm like, dude, do y'all realize that half of them dudes that was blanketing, he would still just catch the ball on them anyways?
Exactly. And there's plenty of tape out there that shows him getting open. Okay.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of tape of him just leaving dudes at the line, but there's dudes that have been all over him, and he still just catch the ball on them.
hmm and I got somebody else to bring on stage, but real quick before I do, and when you were talking about Jimmy Horn taking the top off of defenses, okay, I've said this before, and I will say it again. Don't rule out XL being able to do that as well. Okay,
Oh, he's
you put
faster than
him,
he's.
yeah. Hey,
I just so he is faster than Jimmy Horn Jimmy Horn Jr. is. I just believe that he is a more of a fluid. I believe Jimmy Horn Jr. is a more of a fluid runner.
okay,
It's.
I got
I
you.
mean, you got to really XL is bigger, and some of the movements are sometimes robotic with him.
Yeah,
He's not gonna have the bend and the because I know that everybody remembers that game at Colorado. Jimmy Horn caught the ball on one side of the field, took it to the other side, and
and
nobody
gone.
can get near him. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Okay. All right. Well, let me go ahead and bring to the stage here Uncle Leroy. I believe it's the first time I've had you up. And how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, nephew?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Man, anybody ever
Glad
tell you, man, you look like Curtis Payne, man?
Curtis Payne.
Curtis
Hey,
Payne.
that's
I'm gonna call you
that's a new one there.
I'm gonna call you CJ Payne.
DJ.
Hell
Hey, it's
yeah.
all right. Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'm always good for a good joke, man.
Hell
Hey,
yeah.
well, let me ask you this, man. What do you what do you think about the battle at wide receiver, man? What you think the Panthers gonna do?
Man, man, we looking pretty stacked, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. And if Bryce can connect how he did last season at the end,
Mm-hmm.
man, we talking playoffs, playoffs, playoffs.
Okay. All right. Hey, well, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned Bryce because he's going to be part of the next topic, at least for me. Okay, so we talked about the offensive line. We talked about the both tackle spots. All right, we talked about the center position. I think the only one that the only position that we don't really have to. Well, there's a couple. Okay, guard positions locked. Running backs locked. You know, tight ends is going to be Trimble and Sanders 1, 2. Probably more Sanders 1 and Trimble 2. Okay, then you got my man Evans that we drafted. Whether the Panthers bring in another tight end, cool. Okay, so we've gone through most of that. Now, one thing I did want to ask everybody. Okay, so what position on offense, all right, are you most concerned about heading into training camp? Or what player, heading into training camp and into the preseason and regular season. And for
Mhm.
me, all right, so don't nobody throw nothing at me. Don't nobody hit me in the head. Okay. Right now, I gotta say it's Bryce. Okay. And I'm not concerned to the point where I don't think he's gonna go out there and do good. For me, it's just the fact that, the way his rookie season went, the way last season started, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. Bryce has to come out here and we have to hit the ground running. I don't think that we can afford to have one of these. We got to figure it out for the first half of the season and then start playing like we know what we're doing in the second half of the season. Okay. I really do believe that, we got to hit the ground rolling. And that's for right now. That's my biggest concern. Can Bryce come out and get this thing going from the jump? Can we go out there, jump on Jacksonville, beat their ass, and then move on to the next one? You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. And this
Yeah.
is my this is my thing, nephew. When
Go
when we
ahead.
drafted Bryce, we threw him into a bullshit situation. Our
Uh
offensive
huh.
line wasn't really that good. You had
Mm-hmm.
you had some Dollar General wide receivers, so you know now ain't no excuse. You feel me? If he don't do his thing this year, now there's time to get another quarterback. Cause ain't no excuse.
Okay.
You got weapons. Dan Morgan
Yeah.
cooked. He cooked hell of a damn Thanksgiving goddamn for his ass. So ain't no reason why Bryce goddamn should not be
let
bad
Dan
neither.
cook.
Let Dan cook,
Yeah.
goddamn it.
Hey,
Hey.
let me. I 100% agree with you, CJ. This is the number one. I'm gonna say that I would they say this is the number one concern on the team at a whole, man, because it's just and it ain't about Bryce, but Bryce has to play at a decent level. at a decent level. And
Mm-hmm.
he has to play. He got to be consistent this year. We can't have the start of last season. We can't have a
Mm-mm.
regression. He has to come out swinging and swinging for the fences. And
Left and right.
I mean, and then one of the things that I do want to see him continue to do is to use his legs also,
Mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm.
I don't if of a lot of things, if you can't find somebody to throw to, take off. Because if
Yeah.
they got them dudes blanketed, I can guarantee you there's a lane for you to run,
And he
and
done
you ain't
showed
got
he
to
can
go
do it.
far to the field. You could listen. He can get. I heard something today about Tua, because a lot of people don't want Tua to run anymore at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of people don't want to do. But I was listening to Pat Kerwin. Pat Kerwin said that Tua needs to be at least getting at least 2 first downs a game.
Yeah.
And it ain't. I'm not
With
asking
his
you to.
legs.
Yeah, with his legs, and nobody's
Okay.
asking you to take no hits or do none of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You can get those first downs, and you can get out of bounds or get on the ground.
Yeah.
It don't matter it don't have how it happens. You can avoid getting hit. You can avoid getting touched. But I think that's what Bryce needs to do this season too. 2 first downs a game. I don't think it's. I mean, we saw him do it. We saw him do it at the end of the season. Take off, get out of
Yeah.
bounds.
You got
Get
to,
get what you can get and get out of bounds.
yeah,
Hey, and hold on,
You
and
ain't got to
real
take no.
quick. Hold on, real quick. Hey, shout out to Flame for Jesus for the $5 super chat. As always, big dog, I appreciate you. He says, I will have to wait and see. I will have to see Bryce be consistent and the defense play consistent. And I will agree. I will agree because it does go hand in hand. It does go hand in hand.
Yeah,
If and I do another live about this same kind of deal, but for the defense. But
defense.
we just want the defense to be out of the gutter. Okay, we're not expecting this defense to come out and be top 10 this year, which would be great. Would be great if they would, but if we could just get middle of the road or better, man.
Middle of the
I
road.
I, I
That's
think
that's
I
a
th- and that's crazy to be like I'll be happy with middle of the road, because the coaching staff, the players, they're not gonna be happy with just being all right. They don't
nope.
want to be middle. They want to be the best. We want them to be the best. But after the season that we had last year, fellas, if y'all can get us to the middle of the pack, I'm gonna throw my hands up and be like, hey, I'm gonna leave y'all alone. All
Hey,
right,
hey, hey,
but
hey, nephew, I'm gonna
CJ. This is
throw my hands and shout, goddamn it. They get
yeah,
right.
CJ. This is what you think about this, CJ. Think about
uh,
this. Middle of the road. If we had a middle of the road defense last year, we would have probably won at least 3 to 4 more games.
mm-hmm,
Because
yeah,
let's be honest.
People,
Let's be
people,
honest. They
people.
were supposed to win that. They were supposed to win that Kansas City game, and they were supposed to win that Eagles game. That was supposed to win them.
hey. A couple stops on a couple of possessions. I'm telling you, and,
Yeah,
and, and just think about it like this, okay? Think about it like this, y'all. Even when Andy Dalton was starting, okay, if we could have got a couple of them games where the defense got us more possessions, kept like the Atlanta game, and what's it? Atlanta game, the Chicago game got out of hand quick too. But let me see, Atlanta, and trying to think of the other game he started. He started 5 games. It was hold on.
the Bengals.
I don't think we was beating the Bengals. Yeah, I,
Dude,
I
what do you? We was in that game. We was in that
Now
game.
yeah, they was at first. And then they got there ran the
Yeah,
Bryce Young on
all they
mm,
had to do was listen. We get some tackles. You remember Jamar Chase in the middle of that field, and 3 dudes just touched him, and nobody can get him on the
man,
ground. He was
don't
where
don't
he caught that
don't make
ball.
me
You
remember
think
that.
about this, where he caught that ball at.
Mm,
Ain't no way if we let's think about this. Let's think about this. I'm gonna take it back in history. If Luke had been in the middle field, if he had caught
oh
that ball where he caught
Oh,
it,
it wouldn't have
he
been
gets
none of that.
he gets decapitated.
yeah, yeah, he does.
Decapitate annihilated. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he
So
would have
like
got baptized real quick.
yeah, baptized by fire, right there in the middle of the field.
Hey, baptized and they would have had to get a new soul. Cause goddamn.
That's all I'm saying, man. I ain't even mad that he caught the ball, but at least get
mm,
this man on the ground.
yeah, this is true. This is
And
true.
and nephew, can I say this one more thing before I get ready to leave, man? Because I gotta go to work. Man,
Go ahead on.
that defense, man, I never seen in Panthers years the defense getting pushed on their damn back like they laying on a futon and shit. And man, that shit was horrible. I said, what the
Hey,
fuck?
hey, let me tell you, one game in particular. One game in particular. Okay, the Atlanta game, the first game. If all y'all remember that one run by Tyler Algier, I guarantee you he ran over everybody on that defense except for who was the deep safety on the play. I mean, ran over, ran through, pushed the pile, and I think it was like he got about 12 or 13 yards on the play. And I'm just sitting there like, bruh, like for real? Like come on, like, and that was the thing too. It was just a catastrophe all over the place. You had missed tackles, like I was saying about Jamar Chase. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Missed assignments. Me and Doug
Mm-hmm.
always joke a lot and always tell him like Mike Jack, be a good cornerback, but he gotta have that safety help over the top. But you go back and look at a lot of those clips, especially first game of the season. I forgot my man number 22 for the Saints caught that long
Fuller.
touchdown. Uh,
Fuller.
yeah, Fuller was out of spot. Mike Jack turned around, looked like, bruh, they ain't you
Where you
supposed to be
at?
back here? Hey, where you at? Mike Jack is not that lockdown corner. J.C. Horn is. But hey, he's not terrible. Okay, but
No.
yeah, man.
I mean, but at the end of the day, man, listen,
He ain't
like
Michael, but he
everybody,
Tito, goddamn it.
Who that now?
listen, it's not even. He said he ain't Michael, he Tito.
Hell yeah, goddamn it. Tito motherfucking Jackson, goddamn it. Michael would
Hey,
have did
well,
that
hey,
shit.
look. Well, JC can be Mike and Mike Jack can be Tito. It can work. It can work.
Yeah, but see, he Tito without the guitar. Man.
Listen, I think we'll be all
Wow.
right. Hey, I'm gonna say this right now.
Uh,
I'll say this right now because I know you probably did a little extensive research on Latham Ransom.
mm,
Them dudes that get out there in open field are going to get put on the ground this year.
oh
I
yeah,
I don't know.
he's a hell of a
I don't
tackler.
know if people. I'm gonna tell y'all these mugs don't pay attention. A lot of people were crying about this. I was like, that dude had the highest tackling rate of any
Mm,
defensive player on PFF last year.
yeah.
Yeah,
He not and you think about this, a safety had a higher tackling rate than a linebacker, than a
Mm,
defensive end, than a defensive tackle. I was
yeah.
like, that's crazy, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was
And
And
like,
I
man,
don't.
y'all like these dudes is not about to be running. You gonna be running through here on the open? I'm putting you down.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you,
And-
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you about that safety, ransom. So I'm Ohio
uh,
State football fan when it comes to college football. When I tell you the
okay.
boy can smack, boy, smack you into the motherfucking 1950, goddamn man.
hey,
Kick like a
hey,
motherfucker.
go. Hey, and if you think about that, hey, go back and look at what Morig did to daggone Tommy Trumbull last year.
mm,
Go back and look.
mm,
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
yeah,
go back.
yeah. We
Hey,
talking about that type of
hey,
hit, man.
he knocked that man out his socks, man. He was like, "Where you going?"
Hell yeah,
Hey,
man.
and let me
But
real
CJ, y'all
quick,
have
let
a
me
good
welcome
night,
to the
nephew.
state. Hey, appreciate you, Uncle Leroy. Thanks for joining, man.
Hey, I'll definitely be
Appreciate you.
back, man. Y'all have a blessed night.
All right, you too now. And let me welcome to the stage my good buddy, Mr. Tip Drill, Will Robinson. How you doing, sir?
My man, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I can't complain. Nobody listen.
Hey,
Hey, what's up? What's up, veteran?
hey, what's up, man? Hey, you remember me, huh? Vet to the
Yeah,
house,
Will.
dog. Hey, it's good, man. It's good, man.
I
Hey,
remember all the veterans that come around.
yeah, man. I just wanted to dip in and share some of my thoughts. But y'all was talking about that back end of that defense, right?
Hmm.
The back end of that defense, I think, is going to be just missing a fourth starting caliber cornerback, right? So let's say Mike Jackson got to come out and tie his shoe,
Hmm.
right? We need somebody other than old boy Bartholomew out there
Shamar.
covering. Right.
Mm,
I'm not confident that. I'm not saying you got to go and pick Asante Samuels Jr., right?
mm.
But you can get somebody like Rasul Douglas, right?
Yeah, he's still available.
Yeah, I like Razul Douglas. I like I mean I like Gilly still out there. Gilly's still out there,
Yeah,
man. And
I was
Gilly
gonna say
But,
Gilmore still
Gilly
out there.
Gilly is
listen,
a good backup option.
but see, I'm partial to Gilly Lock. I'm trying not to be partial. Gilly Lock is South Carolina man. You know what I'm saying? He's from South
Yeah.
Carolina. Played at South. I mean, I try not to be a homer too much when it comes to my Panthers. It just be full of goddamn South Carolina players. If you let me be the damn GM, you know what I mean? So,
Hey, let me tell
but
you, I look, I'll forgive them for where they came from when they get to the NFL. You know,
hey,
because
hey,
I'm
hey,
a
hey.
Tar Heel at heart. You know, we had a
Well,
bunch of Duke players. I mean, hey, whatever. Come to the
mm,
Panthers and ball out. Hey, it's whatever.
yeah, I can appreciate that, man. But hey, but you know what? I did not know that about Ransom being that highly rated as a tackler.
I
That
didn't
Yeah.
that
know.
is that is that is
He
interesting.
was the
That is truly interesting.
highest grade. And you know the funny thing about it is, Will, he was doing it from the free safety spot.
Mm, okay,
He was coming downhill and putting running backs in the dirt.
Wow.
okay.
Well, I would
Mm.
love. You know what? Unfortunately, we won't be able to go to Dango training camp and see it.
No, you ain't
Well,
gonna be nope.
Oh man.
Not this year.
Hey,
Not
let
this
me tell
year.
you, I'm not gonna get into the training camp hype this year. I mean, I still love to be there, but I'm going to. Let me tell you, I'm going to temper all my expectations until week 1 in Jacksonville, and then I'm gonna let it all loose then. But hey, and again, shout out to Flame for Jesus for another $5 super chat. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you. He says, I think we got better at run defense at the safety position. We still may have safeties out of position on the pass defense. We will see. And again, thank you for another $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate you. Now I'm glad he mentioned that. I know I'm getting a little off subject here. Um, but now Lathan, not Lathan, Trayvon Merrick, okay. Now he came over with a hell of a run defense grade in PFF. And what was kind of, so I ain't gonna say sketchy, but was lower, was his pass defense grade. Okay. And Lathan Ransom from Ohio State, kind of the same thing. His run defense PFF grade, his run defense grade at PFF, was higher than his coverage grade. Okay. And I know a lot of people are still thinking like, hey, you got Julian Blackman still out there, whose coverage grade was pretty good on PFF last year. Okay, so do we still bring one of them in? But from what I can tell from the Panthers, they love Lathan Ransom's entire tape. Okay, they love his run defense. They love him in coverage. So I still think it's up in the air whether they do anything else, at the safety spot. But we will save that for another live. Okay. Hey, and Will, while
Yeah.
you here, let me ask you this too. Okay, so I was talking about my biggest concern on offense going into training camp and going into the preseason, regular season. And for me, I said it's Bryce Young because he did well going down the stretch last year, but he has to continue that and then some out of the gate. Okay. He has to do this from the jump. And like I was saying before, it can't be a situation, in my opinion, can't be a situation where we're still figuring out how to play football halfway through the season, and then we get to the second half and the light switches on, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now we know how to play. I really do think they got to hit the ball rolling from game 1. Like I said, we need to go down there, whoop Jacksonville's ass, and then move on. Okay, what you think, Will?
From your lips to God's ears. That's absolutely the case. And here's the reason why. I'll tell you right now. The floor for Bryce Young for me, 3,500 yards passing. That's the
Okay.
absolute floor. That's the bare minimum. I'm not saying, oh, he do 3,500 yards. He's arrived. No, that's the bare minimum. That
Yeah.
gets you a 5 year option. That does not get you a contract,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
right? That gets
Say
you
it
a
Okay.
again,
fifth
Will.
year option. That does not get you a contract. What you need to
Okay.
be able to do is say that, hey, I'm in the second year of this system. And in the
Mm-hmm.
second year of this system, I'm able to show you that I can win ball games. So 3,500 yards and a minimum of 8 games. A
Okay.
minimum of 8 games. Period. I'm serious. I'm dead because I mean, and I think he could do it. I'm just saying what my expectations are. Anything short of that,
Okay.
I'm skeptical.
Hey,
Extremely skeptical of it.
Will, I glitched out for a second. You said 3,500 yards in a minimum of 8 games for a second. I said, how the hell he gonna throw 3,500 yards in 8 games? And then it dawned on me, winning 8 games. Like, let me tell you, I glitched out for a hot second there.
A
Hey, but
minimum
also,
of 8 games winning. Right.
okay, got you. All right. Hey, and let me
Yeah.
also welcome to the stage, my guy Poppin from the Black Cat Panther podcast. What's going on with you?
What's up with you, man? Hope everybody doing good. What up, Nick? What up, Will? DJ, good
Yes,
to see you
sir.
on. I
Hey,
got a question.
appreciate
I'm just gonna throw this question out there, and then I'm
you.
gonna
Okay.
listen to it in the background. I'm really curious to hear what you're gonna say. Not too crazy, but my question for y'all tonight, because y'all said the biggest concern um, is the rebuild done. And that's all I'm going to ask, and I'm going to kick back and listen. Is the rebuild done? That's all I want to know.
Can I
And
can I take this one first?
yeah,
Hold on.
yeah,
You can't blame him. I like what you did, Pop. Pop came in here. He said, threw that shit, closed the door, and left.
Pop grenades, huh? Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Go ahead, man.
Hey, hey, that's a good Hey, that's a good question though, and I like it. Is the
Oh, he
rebuild
really
done?
left.
I mean, yeah, yeah. He probably driving or something like that, so he was gonna
Oh,
listen.
okay.
Hey, so I'm gonna say this: the rebuild being done is dependent on Bryce,
Mm-hmm.
because everything you said, CJ, is spot on. We cannot come into the beginning of this season looking like we are a college football team instead of an NFL level football team. We need to
Right.
know how to string games together, and we need to be able to play competitive football this year.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't telling nobody. I'm not predicting no playoffs, no none of that like that. We need to be able to play competitive football. And Bryce, and I would agree with Will that 3,500 yards is the floor. Um, a lot of people are thinking that if he gets 35, if he looks decent and he got something like 3,500 yards, that he would get signed to a contract. I agree with Will on that contest. 3,500 yards and looking decent, winning 8 games will probably get you your 5th year option. And sure, you need to show. But I just want people to know that if you think that Bryce Young's gonna get paid this year, Bryce Young's gonna have a MVP level season to get paid this year. So
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think more of what said in the right ballpark. But yeah, I think the rebuild, it just depends if whether Bryce can string consistencies together. If he can't, then the rebuild obviously ain't done because we still looking for a quarterback.
Okay. And before you go, Will, hey, thank you again, Flame for Jesus, for another $5 super chat. I really appreciate you. Playoffs or bust for me. If he gets 3,500 to 4,000 yards, we should be in the playoffs in this division. And I mean, I can't disagree with you on that one. I cannot disagree with you on that one, Flame for Jesus. And again, man, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat, big dog. Uh, Will, go ahead, buddy. Get your thoughts on that question.
So I agree that Bryce is a linchpin in it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
where I see an asterisk is on that defense, right? That that defensive front seven has to pull up at least 10 to 12 spots in overall defensive run game, right? Period.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
We spent 100+ million in contract value on that defense. That
You're
Mm-hmm.
right.
defensive front seven and that run game, right? Morig is there. I know he's a safety, but he's there to thump in the run. And we
Yeah.
and we got and we got draft. We use draft capital to bump in the run, both on the and on the escorting was there because he knows he's strong against the run, and they want to
Mm-hmm.
develop him as a pass rusher. And then we got Princely Umanyalan to be able to be a third down, bend the hoop, and put somebody on their ass. All of
Yeah.
this, I need to see. I'm not saying that it needs to be a top 10 defense and all that other stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
need to see a considerable mark improvement on the defensive side of the ball. But to everybody else's point, it does not matter if our defense don't prove out and Bryce Young ends up shitting the bed, it's all for
Mm-hmm.
nothing. It's
Yeah.
all for nothing. So that's the
Yeah.
reason
Yeah.
why I said I truly believe I think that Bryce can do it. I believe Bryce can do it, right? As the linchpin of this, but he's gonna have to show us 17 damn games and really, I mean, we want to call him the Carolina Reaper. He bet
Mm-hmm.
when they say we come to Charlotte, be like, man, y'all think this is a trap game. Bryce gonna light our ass up if we don't play him tight. And then they go out there try to play him tight, and he still light their ass up. That's what I
Yeah.
want to see.
Yeah. I feel you.
I
I
like
feel you.
that.
Now, I'm gonna give my thoughts on this. Popping. No, the rebuild is not over. Okay, it's not over because we are still in the process. I think Dan Morgan has laid the foundation. Okay, we're putting up the walls. All right, the plumbing is going in. You got the electricians working. You got your skylights going in. Okay, your windows are going in. All that good stuff. Now we got to put the sheathing around. Work on getting everything buttoned up, and then we can start working on the interior. Okay, kind of in home building terms or whatnot. But no, I don't think the rebuild is over because one, like Will was saying, it starts with Bryce. Okay, it starts with Bryce. He has to go out there and prove to everybody that what we saw at the end of last year was not just a fluke, and he can go out there and build upon that. Okay, because if he goes out there and regresses, it's going to be a time in Panther Nation. Okay, it's going to be a time. All right. So no, the rebuild is not over. And if you want to jump over on the other side of the ball too, okay, because we're talking about this as a whole team, the rebuild is definitely not over on the defensive side of the ball. Okay, now think about after Bryce's rookie season. Okay, so we went out and we did some upgrades on the offensive line, in the tune of Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. Okay, and we got the offensive line straight. Right now, this year, still working on the offensive side. You go out and we drafted XL last year. Okay, you go out, you get Ted McMillan this year. We got Chuba Hug, but you still bring in Enrico Dowdle. You draft another tight end. We drafted a tight end last year. Okay. Now you get to this season. Okay. And you get Prince Umar Nick Scorton. We drafted Cam Jackson, Lathan Ransom. Okay. Then we brought in Bobby Brown III, Turk Wharton. Okay. And what's the man named Christian Roseboom, okay, the linebacker for the Rams, right? All right, now my thing is, on paper, that defensive line looks like it can come in and wreak havoc, okay, and I hope that's the case. All right, but the reason why I say the rebuild is not quite done at the linebacker spot, who is that field general that we have? Does anybody believe that's Josie Jewell? Okay, do we believe is Trevin Wallace in the making? Christian Roseboom, do you think he's going to come in here and be able to take over that spot? Who is our next Luke Kuechly-esque type player? Right now, for me personally, I don't necessarily see that on the roster as far as the
I was,
linebacker
yeah.
spot.
Mhm.
you know, and then
I
you slide on over to the secondary. Okay, we got our man, we got J.C. Horn. All right. We got Shao Smith Wade, who was a draft pick last year. Everybody's loving what he's doing this year, but we got to see it on the field. Okay. We got Mike Jackson. I don't think anybody particularly hates Mike Jackson. You know what I mean? But I also think everybody wants to see the Panthers do something else at the cornerback spot, to help bolster that room. Okay. Whether it's bring in a veteran or whatnot. All right. Then you got the safety spot. Okay. Like I said, everybody is loving, Trayvon Moore, Merrick. I forgot either way you say his name. Everybody's loving him and his run defense. Even at the PSL event, Evero even said that Moore, you probably see him playing like the big nickel position. Okay, maybe down the linebacker a little bit. So they like his versatility. But my thing is, will they bring anybody else in? Probably the free safety spot. Okay, you got Moore. He's got the run game, got that covered. He can play in the box. He can stop the run. But do we have that safety on the roster that's going to take care of everything over the top? Okay. You got what's a man named Richardson, the undrafted free agent last year.
Damani.
Okay, Demani, yes, thank you. Where does he fit in all this? Okay, so I don't I don't think the rebuild is done, and I think you can go back to Dan Morgan and Dave Canales last year, and they said that the rebuild, is going to take several seasons. Okay, last
Yeah,
year was year one of the rebuild. Now we're going into year two. Okay, hopefully we will get some results this season. Hopefully it'll be a little bit above our expectations, or hopefully it'll be a lot above our expectations. You know, I'm hoping it's one of those situations where we can still be rebuilding and winning all at the same time. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. We can be winning and also fixing things as we go. The Panthers the last few years, everything just falls apart, and we're constantly putting band-aids on stuff. I think we finally got back to the mentality like, hey, let's go out there and address this. Okay, let's not go out here and try to get 5 or 6 veterans, in the going into the third contracts and try to put a band-aid on it for this season. And then we go out the next season. We doing
yeah,
the same thing. We putting band-aids, and drafting players. Now mind you, drafting players, but it's like the drafted players can't keep up with all the band-aids that they trying to do at all the positions. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully, we could turn
yep,
that around this year. And it seems like that's what Dan and them are doing. Instead of putting band-aids on things, they're like, hey, we want to go out. We're going to scout this. We're going to bring this guy in. We're going to bring that guy in. It's a need. It's not somebody who's going into their last contract. You can tell that the theme on defense was to get younger. Okay. I think the oldest veteran that we brought in on defense, hell, if I'm not mistaken, it was Rose Boom, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Because Bobby Brown's coming off of his rookie contract. Turt Wharton coming off of his, I think he was undrafted. So yeah, so we'll see. And let me see. Flame of Jesus said that one more year would be Lewis last year. I don't think he stays if Bryce is still here if we don't make the playoffs. All right. Papa says we don't have a field general at linebacker. I agree. I definitely agree. Let me see. SC Panther boy said definitely don't. That worries me too much. Now, okay, now with that, all right. I will say this. All right, one unit works to help the other. If the defensive line, okay, Derek Brown, Bobby Brown the third, Turk Wharton, Ashawn Robinson, for the love of everything good in this world, please, Carolina, please, 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 please put Shy Tuttle at one of those defensive end spots. Do not play that man at in nose tackle this year. And I always try.
Oh,
I
no, they're not
always
doing that. They're not doing. No, they're not doing that this year. They're not. He is not
I,
playing. He is not playing in the middle this year. He's not. He can't.
I
How,
hey
how do
hey
you
hey
put him in the
look
middle when you have Cam Jackson?
hey, I understand that. I understand that. I try to put nothing past nobody. I'm not trying to say they're definitely gonna do right because hey, you, you know, but yeah, and I say that to say if the defensive line can get pressure on the quarterback, okay, if the defensive line can hold blocks, if we can get Bobby Brown out there taking up multiple blocks. I went back the other day and watched a clip of the Kansas City game from last year, and Turk Wharton sits there and he stood up. I think it was Cade Mays. He stood Cade Mays up straight in the air, with damn near one arm, and then waited for the running back to get close to him, shed Cade Mays, and then made the tackle. That was type of things that we haven't seen in Carolina at that nose tackle spot, since we've gone to this 3-4. Okay. Our nose tackles just get pushed back. You know what I mean? So we can get that. If we can get these linebackers to be able to, especially like if linebackers coming on the blitz. All right, I can't tell you how many times I've seen Josie Drew and Trevor Wallace last year get sent on the blitz. All right, and they only have 5 offensive linemen blocking. Maybe a linebacker. Everybody gets picked up. There's no lane for these linebackers to come in and be able to get to the quarterback. Everybody gets picked up. The quarterback still has time to sit there and pick the defense apart. And going into the secondary, if they can get more pressure, if the linebackers and the defensive line get more pressures and put give that opposing quarterback less time to sit there and pick them apart, that'd be better for them as well. So we'll see. We'll see. But I say all that to say, Pop, and I'm sorry, I know I got a little long with it on there. It's kind of a family curse. But yeah, the rebuild is not done. It is definitely not done. All right. Y'all got any more thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, I think you said it all right there. I think you said it all right there. Hey,
Hey,
but
and
I
real quick.
appreciate you letting
Yeah,
me up, CJ.
Oh, hey, anytime, man, anytime. And hold on, and if y'all can, don't go nowhere. If you got to go, I understand. But shout out to Flames for Jesus for another $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you, dog. I'm at to get your address and send you something, man. It said linebacker and corner are the two weakest rooms we have. Shot total may still be in that rotation. That could hurt if he is. Okay, well, like these two gentlemen said, hopefully Shot total will not be in that nose tackle rotation. But yes, I do agree. Linebacker and the secondary, linebacker and corner, yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I would definitely agree. Okay. Let me see. Corey Ruffin, aka Lotto Chunks. What's going on with you, man? Hey, how you doing? All right. Panthers boy says Slow Turtle needs to be a rotation player. Only never start for us or play major roles. He's way too small and slow for me. I always said this. I like Turtle. I like Turtle when he was in New Orleans. I always say now he's probably better suited for a 4-3 defense. Where he's playing the other tackle spot. But he has like that running mate next to him, kind of like we had with Latulele and the K1 Short, but Shy Tuttle at the nose spot, it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out. But I'm not giving up on Shy Tuttle just yet. I know everybody. I'm not giving up on him just yet. I'm hoping that he shows us something again. Hope he shows us something this year. Okay. So also said rebuild isn't done, and Nervac says slow turtle. Okay.
man, Shot Turtle be catching strays, don't
He boy, all the time. All the time. Let me tell you, hey, Shy, if just by chance you watching this dog, I know I be the main one that be setting you up for these strays, dog. But like I said, hey, I still got a little bit of faith in you, big dog. I still think you can do something, man. I always said he's been playing out of position since he's been with the Panthers. That's just my thought. Yeah, just my thought. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna get into the main title of the video. Okay. So I was reading on Panthers Wire, and they said that was it Nate Smith from USA Today ranked the uniforms of all the NFL teams from 1 to 32. All right. And our Carolina Panthers, y'all, only made it to 31st. Okay.
That's that's
We were
that's
ranked
that's flagrant.
that man, that's flagrant, technical, suspended 5 games, fines, everything. 31st. He says the only only uniforms that the Panthers have is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns. Okay. And a lot of what he said. Oh, and hold on. Again, hey, Flame for Jesus, thank you, man. I thank you for another $5 super chat. He said the offense should be okay. If it isn't, we have to quit putting on everyone but Bryce. Now I got you. I got you. But hey, like I said, Bryce got hey, he's got to do his thing too. Okay. When we're not trying to put it on everybody but Bryce. Bryce got a lot of he's got a lot to work with. Okay, he's got a lot to work with. If he can't go out there and make it work this year, I mean, hey, we going definitely going to have a look. Well, the Panthers are definitely going to have to take a look at that at the end of the season. But I got you. And again, thank you again for the super chat, man. I greatly appreciate you. It said that's
I
hate,
got a
bro,
lot
on
to
the
say about this
uniforms.
uniform thing. Like,
Hey,
this is
okay.
that's under my skin right there. I
Hey,
ain't
but
gonna
but
lie
but
to
let,
you,
but let,
Jerry.
but let me tell you though. I mean, my thing is, and from a lot of the descriptions that I read, it was like you know, the Panthers have kind of had the same uniform, since we've been in the league in 95, for 30 years. Now, mind you, okay, and I got these pictures from the Gridiron Uniform Database. Okay, you can go in there and it's got all of the uniforms for every season that the NFL teams have been a team. So you can go back and look. Okay, now mind you, I you got some teams out here that have like two or three combinations, for their uniforms, right? Now the Panthers were one of those teams for the longest time. The we didn't get the all black uniforms until 2012. Okay, like Cam Newton's sophomore season. All right. But just, looking at the uniforms here, I'm sorry, there are not 30 other teams in the NFL whose uniforms are better than this. And I think it's all of a matter, of, your perspective, how you see things. Okay. But my thing is this, like the Panthers have combinations. You know what I mean? Like my favorite one, to be honest with you, is the one dead set in the middle. You got the black top, the blue pants, and the black socks. That is my absolute favorite one right there, followed by the one to the left of it, white top, the blue bottoms, with the blue socks or the white socks, whichever one. Okay, but we got variety. You know what I mean? Now there is I think the I was about to say the Redskins. The Commanders came out with a new helmet. You got the Saints coming out with a white helmet. The Panthers have a black helmet. Would I love to see the Panthers come out with a white helmet? Yes. I think this would only make this combo better. Just thinking about if you had the white helmet, black tops and maybe like white pants or whatever, just something like that. I don't mind the grays, they're cool, but we've had those gray and was it the gray and white pants have been with us since 95. We've added added the blue pants and added the black pants, throughout the years, more so lately than, before that. But to be 31st, no. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And Will, before I let you go, let me go through the rest of the NFC South. Okay. All right. The Falcons. They're ranked 24th. All right. Now, I don't mind the Falcons uniforms. The only thing I didn't like with this new version of uniforms was the ATL right here. It's just me. It's me, one of my quirks, me being picky or whatever. I never liked that ATL, being there. I've always liked their old logo versus the new one that they got. I do like those red helmets, okay, better than I do their normal helmet. But the red ones are the throwbacks, for way back when I think when they first came in the league. Okay. Any Falcons fans out there? Yeah, hey, y'all let me know. But
How was this
I
uniform better than ours? Give me a break.
it's not. It's not. It's absolutely not. Now, mind you, I think it's theirs is better than some of the ones that are ranked above them. I don't think it's better than ours. But yeah. So the Falcons got 24th. Okay. All right. Now we go to Tampa Bay. These jokers are ranked number seventh, y'all.
Give me a break.
Seventh.
Who did this?
Seventh.
Who did
You
this?
know, and then he was talking about the creamsicle uniforms, in the thing, way back in the day. I think this was, I sometimes I couldn't get the sense of whether he was judging, the uniforms from what we had last year based off of, or based off the entire team's history, since they've been in the NFL. Okay. Now, mind you, if you want to base it off of the entire history of the NFL, am gonna tell you this. I got one more slide for the not Falcons, but the Buccaneers. I put the Buccaneers at 32nd just for these right here. This atrocity that they wore from 2014 to
Yeah,
2019. Okay,
yeah.
let me tell you that if you want to go back talking about uniforms as a whole, as a franchise, the creamsicles were bad. I think these were worse. I think you put Tampa Bay at the bottom on this set right here alone. Okay, I think these were the Jameis Winston years. Okay, I think these ones he wore when let me see. I don't know if no, they started I think a couple years after he was already with the team. But yeah, I think you put Tampa Bay at the bottom just for just for these right here. I can deal with the creamsicle ones,
Those
and
uniforms are
whatnot, but
ugly.
yeah, but and it's crazy because my favorite color is always been red. Okay, but I don't see anything right here that's going to say, yeah, this is so much better than what we have right here.
Look at them
Okay, I
combos,
don't
baby.
I I don't see how you can put us at 31 and then you can have this at number 7. Okay. All right. So, and it also gets a little bit worse. Okay. Because coming in at fifth is the Saints. The Saints. I think that,
Stop it.
I'm just going on the article here. All right. I think they love the logo. What is it? The LaFleur the
The
something.
Florida Lee.
The Florida League. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I think that was mentioned. In the and it's like, oh, you can't go wrong. With black and gold and this and that. And I'm just like, yeah, it's not bad, but I'm just like fifth, like really, like come on. If this is fifth, the Panthers deserve to at least be in the top 10. Okay. And if this right here is seventh, then the Panthers deserve to be in the top 10 as well. Hell,
What did
if
he
this
say
is
about our
seventh and the
uniforms
Saints is
and make us the
sixth,
31st? What did they
hold on.
say? Like how
Let me
like
let me pull it up. Let me pull it up.
because I am amiss by this.
Hold on. Let me pull it up right here.
The disrespect
Okay.
against us has been is just incredible.
Yeah, it is. Hold on, and real quick before we get to that, SC Panthers boy, thank you for the $2 super chat. Greatly appreciate you. He said, "So the Colts are better than us." Please, yes, thank you. You know what? I'm gonna give y'all the whole list here in a second, okay? But now, what he had to say, and again, thank you for the super chat, Panthers boy. And what he had to say about the Panthers was, not only do they look outdated, as most 1990s get ups do, the Panthers just can't stop tinkering, literally using 10 different uniform combinations in 2024. Talk about a lack of identity. Interesting fact about the logo, it is meant to resemble the fused outline of North and South Carolina. It also looks better recessed like a shadow into the team's alternate black helmets. Panthers thrive with camouflage, y'all. Otherwise, keep the color scheme, but reimagine everything below the neckline. Okay. Now, mind you, I will agree with one thing. They do need to do something different with the black helmet with the blue logo on there. I do think they need to add a little bit more on that. But my thing is, okay, hold on. Let me get to the article here. All right. Now, mind you, okay, now you talking about somebody who was saying, something ain't changed and whatever. Okay, Dallas is ranked number 12. Okay, Dallas is ranked number 12.
That's the
Dallas
most
has
uninspired, most uninspiring uniform imaginable.
ever ever. That uniform was the least bit of thought possible was put into that darn Dallas uniform. Let's put a star on the damn helmet, blue and white, call it a day. There are seasons where the Dallas Cowboys barely wear anything but those white jerseys. Okay, those are supposed to be their away jerseys, right? But if they got 9 home games, I guarantee you 7 to 8 of them they're wearing those white jerseys. They go on the road, they wear those white jerseys. Okay, now they did wear the blue jerseys against us last year. Okay, but my thing, you talking about being unimaginable? Like Dallas is ranked number 12. Okay, now, okay, so let me start from the bottom. Okay, so below us, all right, are the Cleveland Browns. Then you have the Panthers. The Commanders are 30th. The Titans are 29th. The Patriots are 28. Jacksonville is 27. The Cardinals are 26. If you ask me, the damn Cardinals need to be at least 31 or 32. Let me tell you, the Cardinals have the most imaginative uniforms in the NFL. I mean, like really, their uniforms have not been good for a long time. All right. Baltimore's 25. The Falcons are 24. The Giants are 19. The Dolphins are 20. The Broncos are 24. 20. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The Giants are 23rd. The Dolphins are 22nd. I think they have last year's rankings next to them, and I started reading those by mistake. Excuse me. So the Broncos are 21. The Bears are 20. All right. The Lions are 19th. Okay. Now, I know I'm not a Lion fan, but I've loved what they've done with their uniforms here recently. I would have the Lions at least in the top 10. I'm sorry. I feel for any Lions fans out there that have their uniforms ranked number at 19. I think the Lions uniforms are pretty dope. They should definitely be higher than 19.
Right.
The Buffalo Bills are at 18. You want to talk about keeping something the same. Buffalo ain't done nothing but change the damn helmet one time. That's about it. It went from blue helmet to a white helmet. Everything else damn near the same. So whatever. The Packers. The Packers are 17th.
How, Sway?
Houston, huh?
How? That's
I don't
crazy.
know.
The Packers,
I don't know. I have no clue. None. Packers had the same uniform since whenever. Since the Civil War. Hey, whatever. Houston is 16. The Rams are 15. Kansas City is 14. Let me see. Another one. Kansas City. Great team. But and I know I see Nervous said Packers are, yeah, they are a classic. It might be a classic, but everything is a classic don't mean it look good. Okay.
just because it's
So
classic, that don't mean it ain't ugly.
that just because it's a classic don't mean it ain't ugly. All right.
Like a box
But
Chevy. I love a box Chevy, but a box Chevy is an ugly vehicle.
facts. Facts. Kansas City's 14. The 49ers are number 13. I guess Dallas is 12. The Colts. The Colts are number 11. I know somebody mentioned the Colts. The Colts are number 11. If the Colts are 11, then damn it, we need to be 10. All right. The Jets. The Jets are number 10. The Vikings are number 9. The Bengals are number 8. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think the Bengals are probably a little low, especially with the with the white they came out with the white helmet with the black Bengal stripes going across. I ain't gonna lie, those are
The
pretty
snow
dope.
leopards,
Yes, those are pretty dope. I like those. I think I think the Bengals have been crapped on just a little bit here. Okay, Tampa Bay is at 7. Seattle's at number 6. Okay, if nothing else, Seattle has, and Seattle's kind of like us in a sense. They got combos. They got a lot of things to work with. The Saints are at 5. Okay, so the top 4, the Eagles are number 4. Okay, and I don't hate the Eagles uniforms, but it's top 5. Not
top
really.
15, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Number three. The Pittsburgh Steelers, y'all.
Stop it.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are number 3. The
It's the,
Steelers. The
I
Steelers
mean,
have had
come
the
on,
same
man.
jerseys since now mind you, they've had different jerseys before this, but they basically had the same jersey since the late 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Late 60s, early 70s. Right. They got a little bit creative with it. With the I think the black top, the yellow lettering with the yellow stripes and the black pants. I think that's about that's about as creative as they've got recently. Okay. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, number 3. I don't know how. Number 3. Number 2, the Raiders. Okay. And I know everybody gonna be like, "Oh, it's the Raiders." This, that, and the third. I Yeah, they ain't nothing fancy about the Raiders at all to me for them to be number 2.
A
Okay.
pirate with a one-eye patch and a helmet.
I, yeah, black and silver, silver and black. You know what I mean? It works. Okay, it works. I ain't saying it's a bad uniform, but to be second out in the league, it's almost like he just kind of going on nostalgia here, or this is, and I know this is one person's list, but yeah, it's definitely biased, definitely biased. Okay, and number one, as Chris Berman used to say, the San Diego Superchargers. I'm sorry, not I said San Diego. I'm sorry, the Los Angeles Chargers. Chris Berman used to say that about San Diego. But yeah, the Chargers are number one. Okay,
It seems like to
but
me on this list.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, CJ.
No, go ahead.
It seems
Speak
like
on it.
it seems like to me on this list is that he was looking for killer franchises. I mean, I knew
Mm-hmm.
that the Chargers probably was going to be number one with those powder blues, right? But literally, when you look at the top 10, it's like the teams that were like killer franchises. The
Mm-hmm.
Raiders. The Raiders have won nothing in a long time, but they have a traveling fan base and they're a
Yeah.
killer franchise. The Raiders can literally
Mm-hmm.
move to Mars and still keep the same fan base, right?
True.
Um,
Yep.
so it's like he is it's like it's a very biased list. Any team that was a let's say, any team that was like an expansion team or something like that is down on the list when you think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Or any team that has not won a Super Bowl down on the list. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's
See.
literally it's a very biased list. I don't even know who wrote
Yeah.
it, but I his bias is gleaning through on that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Gleaming through. And I know Nervash was what he say. He said hard to argue with Raiders, Steelers, and Chargers having crisp uniform. Oh, I'm not saying that they aren't crisp. I'm not saying that they're bad. But my thing is, if they're going to say what they said about the Panthers, you can definitely say that times about five for the Raiders, Steelers, maybe not so the Chargers. Chargers will change it up. You know what I mean? They've had different, but Raiders and Steelers have been the Raiders have been the same since forever. I mean, forever. I don't even know if they've actually had, you know, any kind of major upgrade to their uniform. But I have to go back and look. But yeah, But I'm just saying, if it's like, oh well, we can't make up our mind because we had 10 different combinations or whatever. But my thing is, on the screen, you look at these 10 different combinations. These 10 different combinations are fire. Okay. The only one that I don't particularly care for is the let me see. Now the blue tops with the white bottoms, I don't particularly care for those. That one, and the white tops and the gray bottoms aren't particularly my favorite, but I'm rocking all day with the rest of these. Okay. And like I said, I'm not saying that the Panthers got the best uniforms in the league. Well, and yes, I am. In my opinion, they are. Okay. Just like this dude had his opinion. But we damn sure not 31st. You can't tell me we only one spot above the Cleveland Browns. Absolutely not. I will not
That's
stand for it.
flagrant.
Yes, that's flagrant, technical, everything. Was it in soccer? Red card, yellow card, whatever it is. It's all type of fouls. It's everything. Yep. Probably said Panther style is just boring. That's why they're ranked lower. I would okay. I give you that up until maybe about 10 years ago. All right, I think the Panthers have done more in the last 10 years with the uniform. Now, mind you, you add a white helmet to this, it will make it even better. Okay, I still think they need to do just a little bit of work with the black helmet as far as the logo. The blue logo is cool, but if you had like a little bit of outline on it, say maybe in white or whatever to kind of make it pop a little bit,
Not silver,
no pun
like a
intended.
silver outline, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, silver, white, whatever.
I gotta disagree with you on one thing, man. The blue jersey with the white pants, that's my favorite, man.
No, I
The
like those too.
the blue jersey and the white pants, that's my favorite right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I also hope for this year? I hope we don't just
Was it?
wear white jerseys at every home game for, I mean, Jesus, can we wear our blue jerseys at least four of the home games this year?
I would like that. Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. Definitely, definitely
And go and switch to black in December. Any December home game, we should be wearing black jerseys.
true. Yep. It said Raiders and coach should be 33 and 34. Hey, let me tell you, put somebody up there twice and kick them out of the league. Papa said, look up the Lions' alternative jerseys and helmets. Those should have been ours. I agree with an all white helmet. Okay, got you. I'll look them up, Papa. But yeah, man, I saw that, and I think I saw that earlier today. And because let me tell you, when I say today, I have been running all over the place for work, running all over the place trying to do stuff. Every time I got back to my computer, I was sitting down trying to, take 5 minutes to download some pictures of what I was gonna put on here tonight, and then I back up and running. So I had to do most of this when I got home. I was going to put some more of the team's uniforms on here to try and see, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna worry about all that. But yeah, man, but nah, let me tell you, hey, the Panthers, like I said, and me personally, hey, we got the best uniforms in the league, okay? And I know it's all about opinion, but 31st, no. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, no way, no shape, no form, no how. All right.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So that's all I had, man. I had to get that off my chest, dog. Had to get that off my chest. I saw that, I was just like, no, I can't let this go. Can't let this go. Let me see. Panther Boy said, I think people don't like our jersey design style like Seattle's new style. It's like Seattle's new style jerseys, though. Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I do love the newer Panthers logo that we adopted some years ago. Way better than the original logo. I don't know why. I was never really a fan of the original logo. When they changed it, I was like, yeah. It just I get it. Nostalgic, but I do like the new one better. Okay, but yeah,
What do you
but
think
yep.
about the scratch lettering in the end zone?
Now I love that. Yeah,
Yeah, that should
not
always
yeah,
be at
not
the
I
end zone, man.
yeah, not
Yeah.
not I do love the lettering. Yeah, I do love the lettering. But yeah, but I've always when they came out with the new logo design, I was like, yes, thank you, Lord, thank you. But now if the Panthers decide to come out, and have some like I guess a nostalgia game or whatever, and they came out with the old logo on the helmets, hey, I'm here for it. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, hold on, let me add your stage, Will. All right. So I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate all the opinions. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Thank you to Will for coming up here. You gotta forgive me, man. My man, he came up here as a Prowling veteran. My memory is trash. I forgot what his name was. Um, he's from the 70 show, 704 Charlotte Bound podcast. Got what his name was. If anybody know, y'all tell me. But shout out to him for coming up here. Uncle Leroy as well. That was my first time chatting with Uncle Leroy. I appreciate him coming up here also. Nick. Okay, shout out to Nick. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Earl.
Yeah, Nick.
Shout out to Nick for coming up here. My good buddy right here, Mr. Tip Drill, Will Robinson. Okay. Will,
Hey, I
you got
appreciate
anything
you,
you want to say
man.
before we get up out of here, dog?
Hey, we close to training camp. I feel it coming, and I feel that a really good season for us loading. December gonna be fun for us because it's gonna be memorable, and we're gonna be playing some
Okay.
meaningful ball. We're gonna be playing some meaningful ball in December, and I think we go to the postseason. From
Okay.
and that's my prediction straight up, right? I appreciate you come let me join. I always like
Anytime.
talking to you, and I love talking Panther football, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Hey, and all y'all that are still watching, whatever platform you're watching on, thank you. But before you go, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you would be so kind. I greatly appreciate it. Still on my way to my next goal of 2,000 subscribers. All right. Again, next week I will do the opposite of this one about the training camp. We'll talk about the defense. Now we did get into some defensive stuff tonight, but we'll go to in a little bit more detail, next week. Just keep a watch out for, my shorts and stuff like that. A lot of times if y'all see me a lot, I'll be in my work truck, now not driving, I'm trying to be safe out there, but I'll pull up in the parking lot and, and sit there and I'll be reading something. I'll be like, you know what? I gotta say something about this. So look out for my shorts and things like that. And I appreciate all the love and support. And as always, you catch me on all social media at Armchair GMCJ. Okay. And let me see any more comments. Okay, yeah, Earl told me Nick was his name. Appreciate it. Austin says less than 2 weeks. Yep, less than 2 weeks. Dom 34. Hey, appreciate you, man. Panther Boy sent and Pop. Got you. Hey, Flame for Jesus, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Again for another $5 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So have a blessed one, everyone. Much respect, brother. Thank you for the show. No, thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you and everybody else that joined. Nine Dime all the time. What's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, look, I hope you've been here the whole time, man. Cause look, I'm about to get off of this thing. But if not, man, go back and check it out. All right. Yes, keep pounding, man. Hey, and like Austin said, I'm gonna leave y'all with my three things. All right. Number one, y'all be good. Number two, y'all be safe. And number three, as always, Panther Nation, keep pounding, man. I see you.